He killed so many Japanese soldiers in a single night that his commanding officer didn't believe the body count. America made him a celebrity, gave him everything he ever wanted, and begged him never to go back. He went back anyway. His name was John Basilone, and the reason he went back is something nobody ever talks about. And once you hear it, you'll understand why the Marine Corps never forgot him. The night that made him immortal. Guadalcanal. October 24th, 1942. The jungle is alive with sound, insects, rain, and somewhere out there in the suffocating darkness, the sound of 10,000 Japanese soldiers moving into position. Sergeant John Basilone crouches behind his machine gun nest, sweat soaking through his uniform despite the rain, and listens to a silence that every combat Marine knows means only one thing: they are coming. His unit holds a thin stretch of jungle along the Lunga River perimeter, a handful of Marines responsible for protecting Henderson Airfield, the strategic prize that controls the entire Pacific campaign. If the airfield falls, the war in the Pacific shifts. Every American commander knows it. Every Japanese commander knows it. And tonight, the Japanese are sending everything they have. The first wave hits like a wall of sound and fury, screaming soldiers materializing from the darkness in numbers that make the ground itself seem to move. Basilone's guns open up, and the jungle erupts. But something is wrong. The ammunition is running low. 2 of his guns are jammed, and the Japanese just keep coming. What Basilone did in the next several hours would become the stuff of legend so extraordinary that even the men who witnessed it struggled to describe it accurately for the rest of their lives. But to understand why this man, this son of an Italian immigrant from a small New Jersey town, was even on that jungle ridge in the first place, we need to go back to the beginning. Back to a boy who found his purpose in the most unlikely of places. The moment that would define John Basilone forever hadn't even started yet, and the cost of it would break the heart of an entire nation. The boy from Raritan, New Jersey, 1916. John Basilone was the 6th of 10 children born to Salvatore and Dora Basilone, Italian immigrants who had built a life in America with their hands and their will. The house was loud, crowded, and full of the kind of love that teaches a person early that the people standing beside you are worth dying for. John was not a scholar, not a politician, not the kind of boy anyone pointed to and said, "That one is going to change history." He was restless, physical, alive in a way that classrooms and desk jobs could never contain. He quit school young, worked as a golf caddy, and spent his evenings reading about soldiers and battles with the hunger of someone who already knew deep down that was where he belonged. At 17, he lied about his age and enlisted in the United States Army. Not the Marines, the Army. He spent 3 years in the Philippines and discovered something about himself that would shape every decision he ever made afterward. He was extraordinarily good at war, not the violence of it, the discipline, the precision, the ability to stay completely calm when everything around him was disintegrating into chaos. He had a gift for it that his fellow soldiers noticed immediately, and his officers noted in every evaluation they wrote about him. He came home in 1939, tried civilian life, worked as a laundry delivery driver, lasted exactly 2 years before the pull became too strong to ignore. In 1940, he walked into a Marine Corps recruiting office and enlisted. He had no idea that the world was about to catch fire, or that when it did, his name would be the one they put on the posters. From Jersey to the jungle. The attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, changed everything for every American alive that morning. For John Basilone, it was the moment the path he had been walking his entire life finally revealed where it was leading. He shipped out to the Pacific with the 1st Marine Division, landing on Guadalcanal in August 1942 as part of the first major American offensive operation of the entire war. The island was a fever dream of heat, jungle rot, malaria, and an enemy who fought with a ferocity and dedication that shocked even the most battle-hardened American commanders. Basilone took to it immediately. While other men struggled to adapt to the heat, to the disease, to the psychological weight of fighting an enemy who genuinely preferred death to surrender, Basilone became more focused, more precise, more calm. His fellow Marines started to notice. There was something about the way he handled his weapon, the way he moved through the jungle, the way he talked to his men before a patrol, quiet, direct, certain in a way that made the men around him feel like everything was going to be fine, even when nothing suggested it would be. By October 1942, he had been on Guadalcanal for 2 months. He had seen combat, he had lost men, and he had learned something about himself in those 2 months that the Philippines had only hinted at. Under pressure, real, mortal, bone-crushing pressure, John Basilone became something else entirely. The Japanese were about to give him the chance to prove it. 1 man against 10,000. October 24th, 1942, the battle begins. The first Japanese wave breaks against the American perimeter, and Basilone's guns cut through them with devastating efficiency. But the waves keep coming and coming, and the ammunition that seemed adequate an hour ago is disappearing at a rate that nobody planned for. 2 of his machine guns jam simultaneously. In the chaos and darkness, with Japanese soldiers breaching the perimeter at multiple points, Basilone makes a decision that defies every instinct of self-preservation a human being possesses. He leaves his position, moves through open ground under direct enemy fire, dragging ammunition through the jungle to feed his remaining guns, then moves back to repair the jammed weapons with his bare hands, while bullets cut through the air around him. He keeps his guns firing through the entire night. When ammunition runs completely dry, he physically holds the perimeter with a pistol and a machete, fighting hand-to-hand in the darkness until resupply arrives. Dawn breaks over Guadalcanal. The ground in front of Basilone's position is covered with over 300 Japanese dead. His unit had held. The Medal of Honor came shortly after, America's highest military decoration, presented personally by the Commandant of the Marine Corps. John Basilone became overnight the most famous enlisted Marine in American history. His face went on recruiting posters. War bond tours pulled him out of the Pacific and put him in front of adoring crowds across the United States. He could have stayed, could have spent the rest of the war shaking hands and selling bonds and sleeping in a warm bed far from the jungle and the guns. He lasted 8 months before he couldn't take it anymore. The choice that defined everything. John Basilone walks into his commanding officer's office and makes a request that stops the room cold. He wants to go back, not to a training post, not to a desk assignment, back to the Pacific, back to his men, back to the only place in the world where he felt like he was doing what he was put on earth to do. His superiors argued. The government had invested enormously in John Basilone, the symbol. John Basilone, the hero on the poster. Sending him back into combat risked losing the most valuable recruiting tool the Marine Corps had. He didn't care. "I'm a plain soldier," he told them. "I want to go back to my outfit." They approved his request. He shipped out with the 5th Marine Division, newly married to a fellow Marine sergeant named Lena May Riggy, a woman who understood exactly what she was sending her husband back to, and loved him enough not to try to stop him. On February 19, 1945, John Basilone hit the beach at Iwo Jima. What happened next lasted less than an hour, and it changed the Marine Corps forever. Iwo Jima. The beach at Iwo Jima is a killing ground, unlike anything the Marines have ever faced. Volcanic black sand that swallows men to their knees. Japanese fortifications so deeply embedded in the island's rock that naval bombardment had barely scratched them, and a defender who has been ordered to sell every inch of ground at maximum cost. Basilone's unit is pinned immediately. Machine gun fire from a blockhouse is cutting his men apart before they even clear the waterline. Mortars are walking up and down the beach with mechanical precision. Men are dying in the sand around him. Basilone doesn't wait for orders. He moves, low and fast across open ground that should kill him 3 times over, reaching the blockhouse and destroying it single-handedly, clearing a path through the minefield that allows his unit to advance off the beach and toward their objective. He is guiding a tank through the battlefield when a Japanese mortar round finds him. February 19th, 1945, D-Day at Iwo Jima. He had been on the beach for less than an hour. Sergeant John Basilone was 28 years old. What he left behind. The news reached Raritan, New Jersey, days later. The town that had celebrated him paraded him through its streets, put his face on everything it could find. It went silent in a way that small towns go silent when they lose someone who belonged to all of them. Lena Basilone never remarried. The Medal of Honor. The Navy Cross awarded posthumously for Iwo Jima, the destroyer named after him. The memorial in Raritan, where his statue still stands today, frozen in the moment before the charge, looking towards something only he could see. But the real monument to John Basilone isn't made of bronze. It's in every Marine who has ever looked at a position that should be impossible to take and taken it anyway. Every Marine who has ever chosen to go back when they had every reason not to. Every Marine who understood without being told that the men beside you are worth more than the comfort waiting behind you. He could have stayed home. He knew exactly what going back meant. He went anyway. I'm a plain soldier. I want to go back to my outfit. He was never plain. Not for a single second of his life. Next week, we go inside the story of the deadliest sniper the Marine Corps ever produced. A man so feared in Vietnam that the enemy put a bounty on his head worth thousands of dollars and still couldn't find him. You don't want to miss it.